Beat making basics.
What's good, YouTube? Beat Making Basics back again with another dope video. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And without further ado, let's jump into today's content. What we're going to be doing today is mixing a trap beat in 10 minutes or less. We're continuing this series of making beats in 10 minutes or less or whatever. So let's jump right in. All right. So first things first, I'm going to actually let y'all hear this beat that we started making here. First video I did, made the beat in 10 minutes. Next video, we arranged it. Now we're into the mixing part. Let's go ahead and grab that timer, put that up, and we're going to get going, man. I'm just going to give you some quick tips, what you could do to mix your beats quickly. And let's go. Turn this down so it's not peaking. All right, so that's the beat. Now let's get to the process of mixing the beat. All right. Obviously, you do want to spend more time, but if you want to just get the basics down and just get a good sound, sometimes you can get it down in 10 minutes. Sometimes it might take longer, but we're just going to be going over some principles here. So first things first, I would say if you have your beat in MIDI files, go ahead and export this whole session as audio. What that's going to do is help your session not to lag and everything like that. Audio is a lot easier to process than MIDI files. So all you got to do is just go ahead and hold down Shift, Command, and the letter E. And this option is going to come up. Basically what this is going to do is give you the option to bounce this down. Okay. So we can click on desktop here and we can say overload protection off. We could do include volume or pan automation or not. And we could even put the name of the beat right here. Make sure custom is right here. Make sure track is right here if you do want to do that option. For this particular video, I'm not going to do that though. And then we're just going to export it. Now I could put it in a folder, but since I'm just going to drag it right back in, we're going to put it in a folder. We'll say osmosis. We'll just say rough. We'll say stems. And we'll put it in that folder. Export it. Easy peasy. First step, okay? Next step after you export all your files as audio, what you want to do is immediately go ahead and you could do one or two things. You could push Command Shift S, and that's going to create a brand new track. I mean, not track, but session. And you can say like whatever your track name or beat name is, 2 or 3, whatever version this is. So this is version 3. So we'll just do it like that. And then I'll just come over here and delete everything. And then I can come over here and create an audio track. Now what I can do is come over here to the top right of the screen, click there, right? Go to all files, go to my desktop, and I can look for that beat, okay? Osmosis rough, double click right there. I can grab all of these and just drag them on in like so. Super simple. You don't have to actually come over here to your Finder, move this and everything like that. But once this window pops up, you're just gonna say use existing tracks. And then we're gonna jump right in, okay? So next thing when it comes to mixing is you want to get your levels, okay? So how you do that is you want to put a loop on like the main part of the beat, which is going to be the hook or the chorus. Go over here to the top left where it says mixer or these little items right here. Click that, and then what you're going to do is, well, first off, you want to organize your beat. I usually like to put your like drums at the top, okay? And then your melody at the bottom. And then what you could do is actually, before you even start the level, just to make it so you can like affect certain things certain ways, you want to bus like all your drums over to an auxiliary track. And all you're doing is going to output, right? See where it says output? Click on stereo out and go to an available bus. So we'll go bus 1, call that drums. Then we'll get the melody tracks. Same thing. Go to your stereo out. Bus 2. All right. Say melody. All right, and now you're gonna just go over here to all your tracks and then bring them all the way down. Okay. And what you'll do is just start with the drums and start bringing the levels up. Simple tip right here to bring everything up to right here to nominal gain is just hold down Option and click on anything that you want to bring up to nominal gain. All right, so we'll start there. Let's just listen to it. You definitely don't want it to be like sounding distorted, so I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. All right, cool. So once you have that kick up like right to the point where it's about to start distorting, then you start bringing in some other instruments. Let's bring that clap in. I really don't like my snares blaring too loud. You know what I mean? I like it as more of an accent piece. So now we'll go ahead and bring that 808 in. All right, cool. That sounds pretty dope. We'll bring that hi-hat up. All right, cool. Since these melody parts, well, actually, no, we'll just start with melody 1, which is a sample that I created. You'll watch that in another video. We'll bring that up now. Then bring up some of the other instruments. All right, bet. So now that we have that done, another thing you could do is something called panning. You'll basically pull some or certain instruments to the left or right. Some instruments that you want to keep dead center are going to be like your bass or your 808, kick, and like your clap and snare. Everything else can go left or right. So we'll push this over to the left or right here. Push this choir over here. Let's see how that sounds. Basically gives that a good stereo vibe right there. Next thing I like to do is go ahead and move on to EQing, and I just do subtractive EQing. This is where we're going to be taking away frequencies to make room for others. So for instance, this 808 has low sounding frequencies that are coming through maybe around 30 to say about 80 or 100. So you want to take out those frequencies below 100 on most of these tracks so that 808 can push through the mix and sound clear and not muddy. So like that's what we'll do. So a simple way to do this is I can come over here, take it away here, and then I can just adjust it on each track, and all I'm going to do is hold down Option, drag it over, and over. Not going to put that on the kick. Don't want the kick to do that. We can take this off of the 808, and then I can just come on each track and adjust it as so. And basically you want to take away some of the low end to the point where it starts sounding thin, and once it starts sounding thin, you want to pull it back just a little bit. Bet. Alright, got that choir sound. and as you can hear, really just with leveling and EQ, the beat is pretty much already mixed. Now, if we wanted to, we could add other things like reverb or even compression on certain things. I don't even necessarily think it's needed. Reason why I also, bust some of these tracks over to this auxiliary track. Let's say if I wanted to lower or raise like the drums or melody, I could do it here instead of going each individual drum. So for instance, I can look over here, it's clipping just a little bit. It doesn't really matter because Logic is weird like that. But if I wanted to like give it some what we call headroom, I could turn this down some. Or I can get the headroom here. But I'm going to show you Logic is, I don't know, it's kind of weird, like their metering and stuff like that. I would just leave it alone. You can do some cool stuff like add certain effects to the drums track and the melody track on the auxiliary aspect of things. But since this is a 10-minute video and we want to keep things simple, we're not going to do all that. Now, what I will do here is add just a little bit of reverb over to some of these melody instruments. And how we're going to do that is through the sends. So we're going to be sending signal here, all right, instead of adding the actual plug-in on each individual track. So we'll go to sends right here and go to a bus and pick an available bus. We're going to say reverb. And from here, we're going to go ahead. Oops, didn't mean to do that. We're going to put a plug-in on here. Now you could do a stock plug-in, but I love Valhalla Room, which is an industry standard type of plugin. And usually you don't even have to really mess with it too much. I'll just keep it just like that. And then I can come over here to say this melody track, and then I can just push the volume up like this. And the good thing about this is you can like put as much or little as you want on the tracks that you want this to go on to. And I'm just add a little bit here and there. And just to make sure we're staying within that 10-minute video, I'm just gonna go ahead and end it. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I think the mix is decent. There's obviously some things we could do to make everything perfect, but we're gonna go ahead and just end it here. I do have courses available for you, just to let you know. Go to beatmakingbasics.com. I also have sound kits. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you in the next one. We're out.